Hello and welcome. I'm Andrew, aka G Walls, and I'm gonna do a quick deck tech. This is part of my series that I'm gonna have called Bad Magic, and I'm going over the decks that are not so good and talk about why. Give a few tips as we go along. First one we're going to be looking at is Aerial Domination. And these are the prefab decks, the ones that you just get if you have Arena. First one we're going to look at is Aerial Domination. It is mono blue, as you can see, with all the blue on the right. We're just going to go straight down the line. We're doing them by mana cost. Unsummon, 1 mana, return target creature to its owner hand. So this is making the game last longer, which is what we want with this deck because we have spells that cost 6 and 7 mana. Wall of Ruins helps us dig through our deck and keeps the small attackers off of us for a while. Glint gives us hexproof. This is something we'll want to hang on to for creatures later in the game. The hexproof will stop them from doing a spell that is specific to a target creature. Sworn Guardian, vanilla 1/3, not so good. I'm guessing there's a few more cards that would be better in this 2 slot. Waterskin Shaman. Whenever a creature with flying enters the battlefield, Waterkin Shaman gets +1/+1 until the end of turn. So when you're looking at a card, you don't want a card to be like this. +1/+1 to the end of turn is not terrific. And considering that we don't have a bajillion flyers in this deck, so you want to look at things that the abilities stay, they last through the game, not just turn. End of turn is not the best thing. Unless you're storming and you're just going off and you're getting tons of things and it's something that's going to end the game. Not so with Waterkin Shaman. Next is Cloudkin Seer. Draw a card. That's great. It is a flyer. It will pump Waterkin Shaman. But it's a 3 mana flyer for 2/1. Not terrific, but it is card draw, which is always good. Warden of Evos Isle. Creature spells that have flying will cost 1 less to cast, which is great. We want tons of those, but this is only a 3 of, and 4 of would probably be best if you were really hitting the flyers. In this deck, there are no 4 ofs. It's all 1s and 2s and 3s, which you don't want. You want redundancy. You want multiple cards that do the same thing, and you don't see that in this deck so much. So it's bad, but we're going to try to win with it. Next, Waterknot. Enchant the creature Waterknot enters the battlefield, tap enchanted creature, and the enchanted creature does not untap during its controller's untap step. Little protection if they have creatures coming at us. Winged Words. This spell costs 1 less to cast if you control a creature with flying, and you draw 2 cards. It's a 3-drop. We don't have any flying creatures that we could put out before we cast Winged Words. We have other creatures at the 3-drop that fly, but it's not like we have a 1 mana flyer or a 2 mana flyer and then we could drop Winged Words to get some more cards if we needed to. It's more like you have to play turn 3 Cloudkin Seer, turn 4 Winged Words, and hope you have something for 2 mana so you can use up the rest of your mana and not waste that. You don't want to waste mana. You want to be using all of your mana every turn, otherwise you're wasting it. Next, Octoprophet. When Octoprophet enters the battlefield, scry 2. This helps us dig through our deck. Not a spectacular card, which you can imagine. Sleep. Taps all of the opponent's creatures, and they do not untap on the next untap step. Soulblade Jin, a 4/3 flyer, and whenever you cast a non-creature spell, other creatures you control get +1/+1 until the end of turn. Again, it's in the end of turn thing. I mean, it could pump everyone up if we have multiple glints or unsummons played, but we don't have very many of them, so the chances are not spectacular. Windstorm Drake. Now we're getting into our kind of bomb-ish creatures. Has flying. Other creatures you control with flying get +1/+0. There are better cards that do similar things. It is what it is. Bad magic. Frilled Sea Serpent doesn't have flying. Has a big butt. Can't be blocked if we have a ton of mana, which is nice. Riddle Master Sphinx. You can return an opponent's card when Riddle Master Sphinx enters. It has a flying, so it could cost a little less. And Overflowing Insight. We can draw 7 cards if we have 7 mana. And the last one of is the Windreader Sphinx, which whenever a creature with flying attacks, you may draw a card, which is amazing. But we have to get to 7 mana in the first place, and we only have 25 lands. And with all of this, I don't know if 25 lands is going to be enough, but we're going to try to get there. Watch the gameplay to see if I can win a game or two with Aerial Domination. That's all for the deck tech. Flying, return creatures. Try to pump up your flyers. and win the game with aerial domination. Thanks for joining me. Have a good day or night wherever you are. Thanks. Bye.